Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It is not uncommon that Pokemon games give us some artwork, statues or something like that of hidden Pokemon that never get shown officially. In fact, TrueGreen7 has made a video about that a while ago, which I really enjoyed watching. With the new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, the tealmask, we also got a few illustrations that might be new Pokemon. And I thought it would be fun to bring a few of them to life. And I want to start with 3 of the most obvious ones. In the DLC, we get to see a masquerade festival in honor of these 3 Pokemon. We also get to meet its, rival, Ogrepons, a cute little Pokemon which can use 4 different masks to change its typing. The most prominent one is the grass one, but we're not going to focus on that one in this video. We see a lot of people walking around in masks that are based on Pokemon, so it's safe to assume that at least most masks are based on Pokemon. So it was only natural for me to assume that Ogrepons masks were also modeled after real-life Pokemon. However, we didn't get to see them or any information if this was true. Nonetheless, I wanted to create a Fakemon based on these. Let's start with the Hearthflame Mask. It's obviously a fire type. I at first got the vibe of a fish, I don't know, something about the face just looked like a fish to me, but I didn't want to give it a secondary typing, which would have been water, to make kinda sense. So I switched that idea and went with a more serpentine body. Concept-wise, I decided to make it a protector of cooking, family, that type of stuff, because it's the Hearthflame Mask and usually the oven is the place where people cook or get around to tell stories. I don't know, spend the winter if it's cold and stuff like that. I decided that this whole home theme, I don't know how to call it, maybe civilization theme, maybe will be the overarching concept for all 4 Fakemon. I don't necessarily know if those Fakemon brought the fire to humanity. No, actually we could do that. It's like Prometheus. The Pokemon brought the fire to humans and decided to protect it. I decided to give it a few scar-like patterns like the one on its head because I needed a pattern to break up the red parts, to be honest. Now a few thoughts about the DLC. I bought it, played it, and overworked my arms again, but shh. I think the story was nice. You get to this new island in a partner program with your school, and you get to meet Kieran and his sister, which I do not like. I think she's very rude and honestly annoying. Kieran has an obsession with Ogrepons, the little creature you saw in the beginning, and the locals think that it's the villain of an ancient myth, even though you actually find out that that's not the case, and you just discovered that this whole village legend that the people are celebrating was actually the other way around, and the heroes are not the heroes and the bad guy is not the bad guy. And at one point you were walking around with his sister and you actually meet Ogrepons, who loses his mask because it got startled, and then the sister's oh god, we can't tell Kieran because he's gonna be sad, and I was just why can't we just tell him that we saw Ogrepons, it ran away, lost its mask, and now it's broken and we're trying to repair it and gonna give it to it the next day and he can come. It's not that bad. She makes you lie to him and said there's nothing special going on and that there's nothing to talk about and blah 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 blah. But that was really frustrating because I wouldn't have done that. There was literally no point in lying to him, and I would much rather have spent time with him and not her. Yeah. Also at one point she said what? I was nice to him, at least I didn't hit him. And I was what? I don't know, maybe that's how siblings react. I'm an only child, so I don't really know, but at this point I was okay, I do not like you, leave this poor little kid alone. He's clearly not in the best mental state, stop being so mean to him. Also, she was pretty mean to the protagonist for not being a local, but whatever. Anyways, here it is, Taijobun. The name is a fusion of the Japanese term for sun, Taijo, and the Japanese term for oven, Obun, so Taijobun. It is a pure fire type, and has brought the fire to humans back when they settled in the Kitakami Island. They were honored as the sun gods, however they haven't been seen in centuries. I don't know if I want to do anything with the designs in the future. Maybe, maybe not, we will see. Next up, the Cornerstone Mask. So I figured the most natural thing for this mask is basically making some sort of stone golem type of creature. This Fakemon showed the people of the Kitakami Island how to build their houses and other architectural stuff like bridges, towers and whatever not. At the beginning I actually wanted to hide part of its body behind a shield because I have not figured out the concept for the Fakemon yet, but I quickly removed it because it looked really odd. Anyways, more thoughts on the DLC. Yeah, so I already said that I don't like that you have to partner up with the sister, because I'm pretty sure the way you treat Kieran, like it's very obvious that he's gonna be like either part of the villainous team or maybe like the champion of the next DLC who doesn't like you, and it was pretty obvious when you saw the official artwork for it. I think the DLC was pretty short, to be honest. I expected a bit more. Like, it was €35 for 2 DLCs, which I think is more expensive than the Sword and Shield one. I think those were quotation mark only €30, which already was a lot. Like, I don't know, to me it feels like it should be the big DLC actually, because the Indigo Disc one seems to be only focusing on this weird laboratory in the middle of the ocean. So I think in theory the place, or like the space you can visit, is rather limited, unless you can actually go to other parts of the region or maybe a nearby island. Or wait, what if you can go to Unova? Like, didn't they say that the Blueberry Academy is located in Unova? Okay, no, there's no way they're gonna let you explore Unova. I don't know what was going on in my mind there. But I would be really hyped if they did, but yeah, there's no way. Anyways, yeah, the DLC was a bit short, and like with the main game, the nature felt a bit empty. I also wish there were like a few more Pokemon. I mean, like, I can understand that they can't make 100 new Pokemon just for the DLC. That's also not what I expect, obviously, but like, there was not a lot of excitement for me going into the DLC because I saw every new Pokemon besides the one evolution for Appleton, and yeah, everything was shown in the trailers. But I still had fun. After finishing the main story, I was just riding around on my Koraidon throwing quick balls on all Pokemon so I can fill up my Pokédex, and I'm nearly finished. The quest of the photography girl, I forgot her name, sorry, was not bad. I just, at one point she asked you to photograph 10 Pokemon, and I just went off and photographed 10 Pokemon until I realized that in fact you had to talk to her before and then you can take the photos. So my 10 photos didn't count, which was my mistake, but I think they could have made that a bit clear, or I was just stupid. Anyways, here it is, Ladrificio. Its name is a fusion of ladrillo, the Spanish term for brick, and edificio, the Spanish term for building. At first it started to look like some sort of weird stone giant, and I wanted to make it stand out, so I added shifting parts of its body, and like if this was animated, the parts of its belly and chest would constantly be moving around. It is a pure rock type that's taught the humans of the Kitakami Island a special way to build their buildings, and is commonly referred to as the protector of the buildings. However, like Taijobun, it hasn't been seen in centuries. And lastly, the legendary for the Wellspring Mask. So this is arguably the simplest mask out of all. However, I had trouble designing it because these masks always portray the head and only the head, but it's such a weird shape, I couldn't make it like into anything. So at the beginning I decided, okay, this weird heart-shaped things are its arms, and it was just such an iconic pose that people of the Kitakami Island incorporated into the mask, even though it's not part of the face. The patterns on the thing that I drew as his arms reminded me, or at least made the arms look like crab hands or like a lobster, so I went for a kind of a mermaid lobster thingy. This Pokemon makes sure that the humans of the Kitakami Island have a well-established water supply. It also showed them how to travel the ocean. The last thing I want to say about the DLC, which also bothered me in Sword and Shield, is I actually don't know if this is the same case, but back in Sword and Shield, when I picked a completely new team for the DLC portion of the game, I was completely under-leveled. I got bodied by this trainer with its level 70 team, and I was like, okay, apparently the levels of the Pokemon in the DLC do not scale with my own team. So this time I didn't even try it. I used my usual team, which was like level 70 or 80, and I could beat the trainers. Most of the time it wasn't that hard. But I just hate when I come into an area and I can't catch the wild Pokemon and train them, because they first of all evolve after gaining one level. Like a Poochyena at level whatever 60 will evolve after one level, because that's just really high and that's not fun to train. And second of all, I can't bond with them. Like, I only use my original team and the Plinfa that I got from this one teacher who gives you an egg, which I named Bobby from QSMP. Is any of you watching QSMP? I'm not, but two of my friends are and they're completely obsessed with it. Anyways, yeah, besides that, I didn't use Pokemon from the Kitakami Island because it just doesn't feel right. Like, it doesn't feel like training, it doesn't feel like bonding, it's just, to me, it's not the same experience you have. Anyways, here it is, Izumar. The name is a fusion of Izumi, the Japanese term for spring, and Llevar, which means to bring in Spanish. So basically the spring bringer or like water bringer. It is a pure water type and lives in the lake of the Kitakami region. It was last seen in the ocean over centuries ago, where it swam into the deep sea. While designing these three, I didn't get any ideas for the tealmask, the titular mask of the DLC. However, now I actually have an idea and I may draw that in the future. And maybe I'm gonna make a separate video for it. Also, I found at least 2 other hidden Pokemon in the DLC, but I'm not happy with the designs at the moment, so I will work on them again. And I know that Ogrepons can Terra Crystallize with the masks and they changed the design, however that was a bit too much work for this video. I still hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know your opinions in the comments. Do you think the masks were actually inspired by Pokemon or just made up by the mask artist? Which one was your favorite one? Please also let me know in the comments your opinions. Leave a like, share it with your friends and subscribe to not miss any new videos. I hope I can hit 800 subscribers at the end of the year. I know it's pretty unlikely, but hey, I can have a goal. So it would be cool if you could help me out with that. See you in the comments.